we are going to focus on narcissistic stalkers. I am in an ongoing stalking situation currently as we speak. So the narcissist and the narcissistic stalker, why do they do what they do? The narcissist, they feel entitled to your attention, your time, your admiration, your resources, and they interpret even rejection and even maybe acts of aggression. They interpret these as narcissistic injuries, and they react with a sustained rage and vindictiveness, as this can turn very violent because the narcissist does feel that you belong to them, that you are their property, that they are omnipotent, and that they are immune to the consequences of their actions. So we're going to talk about some coping strategies. When you have a narcissistic ex who is stalking you, like myself, make it clear, if you can, that you do not want any further contact with him or her, and that this decision is not personal. If you must, do not hesitate to file a restraining order and inform on that restraining order that they will be held responsible for their stalking, they will be held responsible for their bullying and their harassment, and that you will take every step necessary in order to protect yourself and your children. Narcissists, they are cowards who are very, very easily intimidated, and luckily, they never really get that emotionally attached to their prey in certain circumstances. So in some circumstances, not all, they can move on from this stalking obsession with ease, and here is how. So the narcissistic stalker, they are in a constant state of rage. So what do you do in a situation where you are being stalked and you feel like you have ran out of all of your resources, you've covered all of your bases? Remember that the narcissist, they live in a constant state of rage, repressed aggression, envy, and hatred. They firmly believe that everybody else on this planet, every other person on this planet, is exactly like them. And as a result, they are paranoid, they are suspicious, scared, they are unpredictable. Frightening the narcissist, in order for you to frighten the narcissist, this is a very powerful tool. And in order to act effectively whenever you are being stalked by a narcissist, you have to identify the vulnerabilities and the susceptibilities of the narcissist and strike repeated escalating blows at the narcissist until the narcissist lets go and or vanishes. So for example, say the narcissist has a secret, and one that threatens the narcissist, and say it's one kind of like my situation where if the truth gets out about what they're doing or what the stalker has done, they're scared of what other people are going to think. The narcissist, they have a very vivid imagination, and most of the drama takes place inside the narcissist very vivid imagination. Their imagination runs wild. They find themselves snarled by horrifying made-up scenarios, pursued by the vilest of these emotions become facts. They become certainties, and the narcissist is actually the worst persecutor and prosecutor. So let their imagination do the rest. You do not have to do much except for utter a vague reference, make an ominous allusion, delineate a possible return of events, or the narcissist they'll kind of make up the rest for you with their imagination. They are like a very small child who is afraid of the dark, in the dark, generating very large monsters that paralyze them with fear. So let's say that the narcissist has been involved in tax evasion or malpractice, in child abuse, or in infidelity. There are so many possibilities which offer a rich vein of attack that a victim can take if they choose to do so. And if done cleverly, non-committally, gradually, and increasingly, the narcissist will crumble and disengage until they disappear. They lower their profile thoroughly in the hopes of avoiding this very same hurt and pain that comes along with being caught and or held accountable for their actions. And many narcissists, they have actually been known to disown and abandon their entire life in response to a very well-focused and impeccably legal campaign by their victims. They relocate, they will establish a new family, find another job, they'll abandon an entire field of professional interest, and avoid friends and acquaintances, in even changing their names. And I want to emphasize that all of these activities that I am offering you, they should be pursued legally, preferably through the good services of law offices and in broad daylight, unlike the narcissist. If done wrong, they could constitute such things as extortion, blackmail, harassment, or a whole other hoax of criminal offenses. So make sure that every action you're taking in your counter offense is a legal action. So we're going to talk about some kind of gray area ways to get the narcissist to stop stalking you. You could lure the narcissist. Another way to neutralize a narcissist is to offer them continued narcissistic supply until the war is over and won by you. And dazzled by the drug of narcissistic supply, the narcissist will immediately become docile and tamed as they forget about their vindictiveness and triumphantly repossess their property or their territory when it comes to you. Under the influence of narcissistic supply, which is a drug to all narcissists, the narcissist can be unable to tell if they are being manipulated. Narcissists are actually quite easily manipulated. They become blind, deaf, and dumb. You can make a narcissist do anything by offering or withholding or threatening to withhold narcissistic supply. Narcissistic supply being adulation, admiration, sex, attention, awe, subservience, or even more. You could threaten the narcissist with abandonment, and the threat of abandonment need not be explicit or conditional, such as, if you don't do something, I'll do this, or if you don't do this, I will ditch you if you don't change. If it is sufficient to confront the narcissist or completely ignore them and to insist on the narcissist to respect your boundaries, which is never going to happen. The narcissist will never, ever change or respect your boundaries and your wishes, and they're definitely going to shout back at you. So the narcissist, they take these things as personal, they don't understand the concept of personal autonomy, and they don't understand personal autonomy to be the harbinger of impending separation, and they will always react with anxiety in a situation such as this, because a narcissist is a living embodiment of a pendulum swinging back and forth. If they get too close to someone emotionally, if they become intimate with someone, if they fear ultimate and inevitable abandonment, they fear that every single time that they feel these emotions, and thus they immediately distance themselves, act cruelly during the devaluation, and this is exactly what brings about the very abandonment that he or she feared in the first place. We see this a lot in borderline personality disorder. This is called the approach avoidant repetition complex. This paradox lies the key to coping with a narcissist. And if, for instance, he or she is having a rage attack, some might say rage back. This will provoke in the narcissist fears of being abandoned and calm them down instantaneously and eerily. So we're talking about counterattacks that might not necessarily be the safest things to do, but if you feel you must do them, these are what I have to offer. Mirror the narcissist actions and repeat their words back to them. If they threaten you, you threaten them back. Incredibly, try to use the same exact language and content as well as the same tone. If the narcissist leaves the house, you leave the house. If the narcissist disappears, you disappear. If they become suspicious, you become suspicious. And be critical, be denigrating, humiliating, and down on their level, because that is the only way that one can truly penetrate the thick defenses of a narcissist. Faced with their own mirror image, the narcissist always recoils, and you will find that if you constantly mirror the narcissist, consistently and constantly, they become they try to make amends in many cases, and they will move from one bitter and cynical, misanthropic, cruel, and sadistic pole to another. Warm, loving, fuzzy, engulfing, emotional, and back to rage. You could manipulate the narcissist by playing on the narcissist's grandiosity and paranoia. It is possible to deceive and manipulate a narcissist effortlessly in some cases. Just offer the narcissist narcissistic supply, admiration, affirmation, adulation, and he or she could possibly be yours. Harp on their insecurities and their persecutory delusions, insecurities, and they are likely to trust you and cling to you for dear life. But be careful never to overdo it in situations like this, because when asked how the narcissist is likely to react to continued mistreatment, it is not necessarily the prettiest scenario.